about the RCB batting? Do you think the match is really getting away, or do you always think any total can be chased down here?
Yeah, look, if you want me to summarise the outcome of the game, I think it really hurts when a bowler goes down, and I really have to reassess. And when two batsmen are going, it's quite hard to stop here, especially. But I think when they got in, it was about us trying to minimise the boundaries, and they played fantastic. And then obviously at the end there, Sarfaraz came out and played his innings. But I think the disappointing thing for me is we started well. First 3 overs went for 12, but then a bowler went down, and then we look at the last 4 overs. They got 63 runs, and one of those overs went for I think 3 or 4 runs. So look, that innings there at the end, probably was the crucial one for them. And look, if we look back, we probably didn't execute as well as we wanted to at the end there. But obviously we have to try and take some positives out of that.
This is Narayan from PTI. We saw Nehra stretching his foot and then leaving the field. What's wrong with Nehra?
I think there's something wrong with his groin, and they're going to do some scans when we get back to Hyderabad, and then they'll put out a release of the extent of the injury, if there is an injury.
Hey David, you said the final overs you guys gave away too many runs, and it seemed as if you were saving Mustafiz for the final few overs. Maybe on hindsight, do you think you could have bowled him earlier to try and take out 2 of RCB's biggest batsmen?
No, well, I couldn't do that because a bowler went down. So I had Karan Sharma, who was bowling at the short end, and I had Ashish Reddy there as well, and I bowled him a couple of overs. So the plan was, if I think it was AB or Virat got out, if they didn't get out, I was going to bowl Mustafiz and Bhuvi and let one of those 2 guys bowl the last over. That was the plan, but we got a wicket, and then Karan bowled 3 very good balls to Shane, and then Shane hit 3 sixes. But that's the nature of the game. That's what happens. So, one bowler going down really does hurt, so it throws your plans out, and you've got to really think on your feet. And, from 6 overs left, I was really trying to work out what I was going to do. But that did cross my mind, but, we got the wicket, which helped a little bit. But then obviously Sarfaraz came in and played fantastic.
David, you're chasing 228. What do you tell yourself when you come out of that? What do you tell your batting group?
Well, for us it's about taking the total out of the equation. We know here if you bat well and you bat deep and have wickets in hand, you've seen what can happen. And, time and time again, 200 gets chased down here. That extra couple of runs there is quite tough because, I put my hand up. We always talk about one play going through and trying to score a big 100, and that was what was required today from the top 4. None of us were able to do that, and we lost wickets in clumps. I felt we got off to a great start, and then I think I was dismissed in the 9th over, and then from there it was, a little bit of pressure on some of the guys coming in. I think sometimes you look at it and go, how hard do you go? And it's hard as a batsman when you come in, around that period of time to think, all right, we've got to go at 12 and over. But it gets in the back of your mind that you still got to try and bat deep. And it's a hard thing to do when you're out there. Yeah, for me it was more about keeping Morgs after 10 overs. I think the plan was to have Huda go out there and try and get going a little bit, try and see if he can clear the ropes. But we know how well Morgs finishes, and for us that was what we needed today, was for him to finish. As I said, if 2 batsmen were, if they got going, we could have gone very close. And that's what happens in this game. You lose too many wickets too early.
David, was the partnership of 157 for the second wicket between Kohli and AB spell doom for you, or was there any other reason?
Look, when any 2 batters go out there and put a partnership of 150, it's always quite a tough ask. When 2 world-class players are going, it's very, very hard to stop. And with the boundaries that are here, it's very difficult. But look, I'm not taking any credit away from Bangalore. They played very, very well. They batted very good, and in the first 6 they fielded very well. They stopped a lot of little ones that could have gone for boundaries. But that's what happens in this game, and I feel.
David, you did mention about Sarfaraz.
Can you just expand on that? Was it something amazing? An 18-year-old kid adapting to that, changing the field placing that you change and all, you know, you won't get that. Can you just talk briefly about his performance?
Yeah, look, we know how he plays. You know, Boovy came in and I think he bowled 5 out of the 6 balls, he bowled full tosses, and that works in his favour because he plays those little lap sweeps. But I'm not putting any blame on anyone. The fact is that that's his game, that's how he played, and he did it very well, and we didn't really have any answers. Maybe if we look back at it, we probably should have changed the pace a little bit, not bowled the same ball 2 balls in a row, but you know, that's my fault as well. I should be speaking to the bowlers a bit more and making sure that they're thinking about that. But you know, you had fine leg and third man like this, and he's still hitting it over the keeper's head. You know, he played well. It's a craft and it's an art, and that's what you need for a guy coming in at the end to be capable of doing that. And he came off for him today.
Last one.
David, away from the match, your thoughts on James Taylor?
Yeah, look, I sent out a tweet today. It's obviously very sad news. What's come of that? I spoke to Morgs before, and I think it was an all of a sudden thing. You know, we know how determined he was to play the game, how well he played for England. You know, my thoughts are with him, and so is the rest of the team. I wish him a speedy recovery and hope, you know, if somehow he can keep involved in this game, because we know it's a game that he loves.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.